Boys,
All I've got to say is thank
Boys.
God MotoGP's back.
Man.
Seemed like a long time, didn't it?
Oh, way too long.
Yeah.
How good was the racing?
The racing was great.
Amazing.
They're talking best British Grand Prix ever.
Be close too, wouldn't it?
And we've probably only seen 20 of them, so we can't comment.
Yeah, true.
But the racing was awesome. And throughout the whole weekend, it just threw up some major different results just because of the rain and stuff, so as it usually does.
Can't say the same about the commentary. So for Australia, it was all changed and we got the TNT feed.
And no
warning.
No warning.
The Fox Sports comments on Facebook, people were going nuts on it. It was so funny to read. All the Karens.
We
and
don't
shit.
like change.
No, we hate
Not at
change.
all.
No,
we
don't
hate
like
change. So
give us the facts, mate.
So I woke up Saturday morning to watch free practice 1 and 2 before work because I couldn't watch it Friday.
Yep.
I got a minute in to listening to Neil Hodgson talk. And I bought the MotoGP video pass and then everything was back to normal.
I'm surprised you heard him talk. They were just interrupting each other the whole time.
So, it was fucking terrible. It's something to do with, I've just got it up here. It's because the Foxtel Group has a content partnership now with Warner Brothers Discovery, which is now, Discovery's now being acquired by BT Sport and now TNT Sports in the UK.
Okay.
So I think it's just easier and probably cheaper for them to use their feed.
Yeah, right.
But a bit of warning would have been great at least. But it's an end of an era because I've only ever had the Dorna feed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, as you touched on with the comments, I mean, people aren't happy.
Man, no
Especially
way.
motorcycle fans. They're such fanatic fans. It's not a sport that your mate watches next door. It's it's quite a tight knit community, and for this to happen,
Yeah.
people aren't happy. It was like I compare it to watching a MotoGP race, flicking it on channel 31. just that was how it felt. The commentary was just so much less professional, I found.
Yeah, like, you can't beat Matthew Burr. And like I was finding myself missing it just in this 1 minute. Simon Crafer. Like, I love me some.
He's
Simon
grown
Crafer.
on us over the years. When he started,
Well, like we'll go on Conor McGregor. Who the fuck is that guy?
we were hating Simon Crafer at the start. We couldn't believe it.
Now-
He was allowed to be, and now
He's a G.
He's inside.
He's a G.
And you touched on, and we'll get onto this later about the Bezecchi crash.
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
right.
inside of that, where we didn't get that on the
not
Fox
at all.
Sport. We're not paying the extra.
What you
for
get? Just a
MotoGP.
couple dribbles and groans out of Neil.
I
Hodgson
was-
and-
They thought it was Marini, I think.
Yeah. What about some? So is that all the facts? There's no other.
That's
do's and don'ts?
really it.
Okay.
That's really it. So
Okay.
the only shit thing with the video pass is I woke up this morning to watch Moto 2 because I fell asleep. And then I fell asleep and then had to watch a sprint race Sunday morning, and I had to get my missus to put on the sprint race because they have no spoilers on the video pass. So if you open MotoGP video pass on your TV, they're like the race results are right there. And luckily, I thought it came up with a thing, so then I had to get her to click play on it, find it.
Yeah.
And it was the most confusing app of all time, like standard MotoGP.
Yeah, it's
It is a
then-
tough app to
Yeah,
use.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But
As a person who wouldn't go on it all the time, I go on it and I go, nah, this is too hard.
Yeah.
And I go out. And I go on Motorsport.
it's the price you pay, though.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
price you pay. So
Yeah.
that's
So how much is it, the subscription?
like $120 or something.
For the year?
Yeah.
Was it cheaper because we're halfway through the year, or?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I've never bought it once before. But the cool thing is, at least you get all the testing. You get all the testing and stuff. I
You
guess
get more
so.
behind the scenes interviews and
Yeah.
stuff.
So I'll use it for that, which would be good.
Man, imagine watching testing on Fox Sports this year. It's
Oh,
going to be
no,
8
no,
hours
no,
of
no.
dribble.
No. Couldn't think of anything worse.
No.
They were shocking.
Let's move on to the race results for us, Jim.
All right. So sprint race: Alex Marquez, Marco Bezzecchi, and Maverick Vinales third, which is amazing. Obviously, it was mixed conditions, rainy, so it always pulls up something different. But it was good for Alex Marquez to get a W for him. And then main race: Alicia Spargo, amazing win. Bagnaia and Brad Binder third. So I did
Binder was a
quietly,
surprise.
I quietly tipped for the podium.
Yeah, well, I did. Crystal Ball was engaged over the week, and Aprilia, as we all know, got up on the win. And I think we both agreed last podcast that it would suit their bike, but I did not see Aleix winning on that Sunday morning.
Nah, I didn't either.
Free practice, he came out in the wet and he did an amazing lap in practice 1. And then obviously he stayed pretty quiet throughout the whole weekend, but then zero when it mattered.
It was just on it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That was the thing. I think they made the most of it, Aprilia.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been prone to throwing it away.
Yeah. Did you say all their bikes were in the top?
So all their bikes were in the top 10. 3 of them were in the top 5.
Yeah, it's great.
So stunning performance by Miguel. It was great to see him back. You and I both had him.
We did.
Tipped for a podium, but not far off at all. I think he raced awesome.
He's a jet, Miguel.
And the other thing is, if you went back and watched that race, lap 13 or 14, he was 11th or 12th.
Yeah, he carved through it. But like your good mate Danilo Petrucci, Miguel is actually a master in those conditions.
Yeah,
and we've seen it time again.
How was the difference in the last sector? He passed. Who did he pass in the last sector?
Maverick and
was it Binder?
Yeah,
in the last sector, and that was just incredible. Like he just looked like he had so much more grip, but big balls.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But Binder's got the biggest fucking kahunas going around.
Yeah, he does.
So,
especially on his tyre choice.
Yeah.
Because his temp would have dropped big time.
He went medium,
which I thought was a smart play.
Me too. I thought so. And he was there the whole race.
Yeah, I thought, come the last few laps, if he stays weather-wise how it is, he'll win.
Yeah.
That doesn't usually correlate that much in MotoGP, I find.
Not as much as what it normally does in say, like Formula One or something.
It does. Like they put medium and soft. Sometimes some people, the soft runners get more grip at the end. It's very unusual. So
similar to like Marquez last year, he ran soft to Phillip Island. Everyone's like, what the are you running softs for? And he made it last and came second or third?
Yeah. Second, I think. Maybe something like that. Anyway.
It's interesting.
But yeah, and Binder, he's just becoming more and more consistent now.
Yeah.
You know, they've taken a massive leap, KTM. And Brad Binder, he's got so much talent. Arguably one of the most talented riders on that grid.
Oh, for sure.
So it's good to see him really up there now, kind of race in, race out.
It's good that they can qualify now too. They got that one lap pace.
That whole shot device.
Yeah, it's the best on the grid.
It's just like a guarantee that it's either with Miller or Binder.
Yeah.
First in turn 1.
That's an unreal whole shot, that.
But yeah, with that race, obviously, thank God MotoGP's back. The racing was amazing. I thought I cracked it when Bezzecchi crashed. I was like,
I know.
Pecco's just going to run away with it. Yeah. And then no one's going to pass because of aero.
Yeah. It looked like Aleix just flicked a switch.
Yeah.
And within a couple of laps, he was on his ass.
That's right. And then I think that he kind of dragged Binder up with him. And then
and
Oliveira then came. And then Vinales,
Because what I noticed with Vinales and Miller's incident, Vinales lost about 4 or 5 seconds on that lap.
That cost him.
Cost him massively because he got up to the back. He could see he would have worn his tyres more to get to that position. So good things though. Good things for Aprilia. Really exciting for their next few rounds.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
They just got to continue with it and roll on with it.
Who's closer to a win, Miller or Vinales?
I reckon
that's a great question.
Because it's third win on the manufacturer.
Vinales had a good start for the first time ever. Bad MotoGP memes put up a funny meme about that.
Shout out to them.
You know what? Alex Rins is going to be the first one to take a win on 3 different manufacturers next year.
Wow. So
on the Yamaha.
On the Yamaha.
So you don't reckon Vinales is going to... I reckon Vinales will win some... I'm not talking sprint race. I'm talking main race.
You're talking main race, yeah.
You know what I reckon Vinales will win? Phillip Island.
Nah.
Loves that track. Loves that track and suits an Aprilia.
I can't see it, man. I reckon someone like Miguel would win that.
Yeah,
I think Miguel's...
Imagine Miguel wins. We're gonna get Portuguese flags for that. If
100%.
We're big Miguel fans over here.
Yeah,
maybe a few Portuguese.
We know a good right. I was at Costco today. They had him there, but dieting at the moment. Dieting for GP.
It's normally the 10-week challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, 10-week challenge. That's it.
How much can you starve yourself in 10 weeks?
It only comes down to last week, and I'm having skinny tea and shit.
Run it on empty. He's running on empty.
Save it for the fitness pod.
On an oily rag, this one.
But yeah, I just enjoyed the weekend. I love when there's mixed conditions, and they don't have dry. When they don't have dry running, they can't get the setups going. There's always surprise results. So.
Yeah, it shakes it up a lot.
And I think, what do we think about these new tire pressure law or the new rules imposed. Because I heard a rumor that Ducati was a team that was running theirs way too low the first half of the year, way too low. That's the rumor that I heard in the paddock. Not in the paddock personally, but the paddock rumor.
Were you in there, were you?
And I think the TNT podcast telecast actually touched on it. And it was one of the big things of Yamaha was doing the right thing, Honda was doing the right thing, and Ducati weren't.
So what you're saying, and we'll clip this in, is you're saying Ducati are cheats.
No, I'm saying they've stretched the rules too far, and then this is why MotoGP has to bring this rule in. And we saw the gap close.
That's what they do.
We saw the gap close.
Yeah, it's all right. And maybe it's harder to gauge because it was like raining and mixed conditions on weekends.
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%.
That definitely changes it up.
It does.
I would have to agree with that because I think Pecco was one of the first ones to come out and say, oh, this pressure system's unsafe.
Yeah, true.
Da-da-da.
Covering his tracks.
Yeah. And then like we touched on last year, there was talks about Ducati running pressures too low and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if that's why they've brought it in.
And speaking about the conditions as well, Tom, I think we talked about this during the race weekend. It was pissing down rain. Yeah. And I was like, if that was an F1 race, that would have been red flagged instantly.
I think
And I'm surprised it almost wasn't at one stage. It was bucketing down.
On the Saturday for quali, I reckon they would have just packed up and gone home if it was F1. There was standing water all on the track. Like
I've had big sweepers and stuff.
Man, I don't think I've seen a track that wet before.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Get your heads out of the gutters. I haven't seen a landing strip that wet in years. All right.
It is an old airfield.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, we know that, all right? Jesus. Whoa, fucking hell. Swear jar.
Daniel's lonely.
I got you two.
3 giggling virgins again. Fucking at it. All right, so can we talk about some Moto2 action, please? Because the racing seems to be... Yeah, it seems like it's been a very good year for Moto2.
Yeah.
It's in, and we've just already talked about it, but Moto2 is in its healthiest state at the moment. Out of all, how long's it been going for now? Since 2012, 2011, yeah.
I think.
And it's always the one that it was promised to be the best racing was Moto2 when it first came to the scene. It has never lived up to it.
It's definitely been the best year since the new engines.
Yeah,
the new Triumph engines.
Just probably. Even last year, was it last year or the year before?
With
Fernandez and Remy Gardner. That was also
we had more
year. Even the year before that was good too.
So it has built up to it.
The last 3 or 4 years have been really, really good.
I think though with that Remy Gardner year, we probably had more invested interest in it because it was just those 2 Red Bull bikes winning every race pretty much.
Yeah, and with Moto2, it's normally like one team that will kind of just win it, like the KTM Red Bulls or whatever it is.
Or Mark VDS or...
Yeah, exactly.
Mark VDS, yeah.
But that is a stacked field. Like there is so much talent and in Moto2. Like you've got Aaron Canet, Acosta, Joe Roberts, Sam Lowe's, Igura, Tony Arbolino.
Yeah.
Then you still got like Darren Binder, Celestino Vietti, Jake Dixon, Guevara, Alonso Lopez.
Yeah.
They're all
Sergio Garcia.
Foggia.
They're really well-known names.
It is a stacked field.
Field. It's so competitive.
Big bad bustling Barry Baltus.
And you can always trust Igura to throw it down the road. So
yeah, fucking hell.
It's just amazing. But yeah, great win. As you were saying, it's one of the rides of the season. Furman Aldeguer.
Man, it was a long time coming. He had a couple promising sort of starts. He kind of threw it away. He's only 18. So still honing the craft, but geez, what a dominant display. Hit the front and that was it. See you later.
Yeah,
and that Bosco Scooter bike looks amazing.
I know, doesn't it?
It looks so
fast.
good.
He was fast. Just what's going off Aaron Canet though? Like seriously.
No, Aaron Canet. According to the TNT boys.
He'd be great at a wedding, I reckon. Aaron Canet.
As the bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got no hope.
It must be playing in his mind.
Do we ever see him in a GP bike? I just can't see it happening. There's just too much talent.
I still can just because he's consistent. He's kind of always like top top
I
6.
swear to God, those MotoGP teams prefer like a rider that wins 2 races then crashes out 3 in a row. I swear to God, you're gonna if you show you have a talent and you win races, that's gonna get you much further than being 3rd every race.
Well, that's how Quartararo got picked.
I think they want that guy that's going to throw
that X factor.
Yeah, that X factor that's going to throw everything at it.
Yeah,
and I think you'll see someone like. That's why they're looking obviously at Acosta, Arbolino, and like Alonso Lopez. I wouldn't be surprised if he's,
he's got
he's
X factor.
shortlisted. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite
I
riders.
reckon Arbolino is going to come in MotoGP and do absolutely nothing.
Probably.
I second.
He'll be like 18, 19 every race. It'll be like Tito Rabat.
Oh, that's the ultimate.
Yeah.
He's got serious talent, Tony Arbolino, but I still reckon Acosta.
They got that X factor.
Yeah.
You know?
He's having a ripper season, but Arbolino.
Yeah, he's having a good. I just hope he brings the fight to Acosta.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless of who wins the championship.
Yeah, same.
I'm not fussed because I love Pedro Acosta. I think he's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's only, 19, 18?
He's only like, it's crazy.
So the sport's in good hands.
Yeah.
With the boys coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and even Moto3, like, there's some good names popping through that too.
Man, for sure.
When I was watching the race, I was like, man, there's a few boys that could go up next year. But
yeah, it's
Moto2 is where it's at.
And for me, the best looking motorcycles in the world right now is the Moto2 bikes.
Wow.
Yeah, good call.
No winglets. It's just they're all very similar.
They sound great.
They sound great, and I reckon they just look like race bikes.
You've got a soft spot for those bikes.
Yeah, I'd love to own one. You could buy them. It's just like 60 grand or 40 grand.
And Triumph have just signed on till 2029 as the engine and
that's
gearbox
nice.
manufacturer.
I think that's a great ploy from them.
Yeah, it's big for them.
Big for them because it promotes the brand so well. You don't have to have Triumph bikes on there to. It's just a trust factor.
Yeah.
So
it'd be good if you could trust their road bikes. They're actually not bad.
So, couple little things going a little bit off topic, but still MotoGP. I saw an interview with Mick Doohan and Casey Stoner, and they were talking about Honda and Marc Marquez, and there was some really strong. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was after qualifying on Saturday. But to put it into a few words, they were asked, if you were Marc Marquez, would you stay at Honda? Would you show loyalty? And they're like, nah, get the fuck out of there. You're done. Move into something else because they're not going to be competitive for the next few years. No. You're at the prime of your career. And I thought it was interesting from Mick Doohan because he had the strongest words and he's got probably the biggest affiliation with Repsol
He's
Honda.
Mr. Honda.
Yeah.
And Mr. Repsol.
And he said, and we'll clip this in later while you're watching, not right now. I don't know how quick you are. But it was just really interesting to see the lack of passion and care from their factory. So, what do you guys think about that?
That's so interesting.
And if they were Marquez, they would jump ship straight away, gone now. If they were in that position.
Yeah, Casey Stoner left Ducati for Repsol Honda, and when they were spiraling.
Yep.
So I can understand that. For Marc Marquez, just say next year he finishes 10th, right? And then the year after he has a bike and then wins, just say another title or another 2 more world titles. Would that look better on his resume as a complete rider, or just say he goes to KTM and wins a title straight off the bat?
Goes KTM.
He goes to KTM.
It looks better.
But do it on another bike.
But look at the Rossi. Look at the Rossi factor.
Developing a very bad Repsol is what I'm trying to get to.
It's a fine line. For me, it'd be go to another bike.
Okay.
Because obviously circumstances are going to be a lot different because the KTM's a good bike.
Yeah.
Like Tom, you were saying about Valentino.
Yeah.
He went to a shit Yamaha.
Yeah. I guess it's a similar thing to what Rossi is doing if he stays.
That's right.
Because he's staying on it, Rossi left that Honda, and that was
the peak of the powers. It was the best bike out.
By far.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just interesting. It's an interesting thought. Like if I was him, I'd leave and go to KTM or something as well.
100%. And I think that bike suits, and we've touched on it so many times, it'll suit his riding style.
Yeah.
And look, it pains me to say it, I love Jack Miller, but the way he's going, I can't see him there
long
after
term.
2024.
No,
I really can't.
We've touched on this.
It's a lack of consistency.
It's cock tees.
Yeah.
He's still going around Silverstone right now.
It's simple cock tees though. Like he has it, but
I think it was got a bit unlucky over Silverstone though. He got punted off twice.
The second one he should have conceded.
Yeah. He was going. He was a roadblock in that race.
Yeah.
Like,
He was.
he would have
granted,
finished. He would have finished
was.
outside the top 10 probably.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll never know, and we love Jack.
He does come back. It's just.
He's got to prove us wrong. That's it.
Yeah, no, he's
Binder's
when he's on his game, but Jack Miller, he's
But
he's
it's like-
Oh yeah, of
yeah,
course.
exactly,
He's
and
there.
that's why he's got the seat. He can have those weekends that he just dominates.
The problem is he hasn't done it yet.
yeah.
It's halfway through a season. Normally he's already done it by now.
Yeah.
That's the concern.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point.
So, if Marquez is going to leave, I think that's a seat where it's.
Oh, who knows what's going to happen with Marquez? That's still such an interesting one. Like,
There's so many things up in the air.
there is
I don't
so
know.
many
I
things.
think my
if he goes to Grassini, you
Grassini,
deserve like 6 chinos.
because I think cappuccinos. I think I was the first to break that story in the world. All right.
Clip that.
I
know-
truly believe.
I'm in two minds here because if he gets this right, I'll be so annoyed that he's right because I'll hear about it to the end of time.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
I'll get married and he would make a wedding speech and would still
About
drop
that.
that in.
I would. I would. I fucking would.
But the clip would be amazing if we timestamp it and it actually gets signed to Grassini Ducati with his brother. It would be incredible.
Surely they invite you into the pits.
Oh man, I want to sit on the bike, the photo done, and then I can yeet the fuck out of there.
You got to be the one handing Marquez his contract. I reckon, if it happens.
Oh,
Tell him to sign the dotted line.
I'll be the witness on,
Yeah.
on the contract. I called this. Oh shit. Well, that'd be cool. I mean, let's see. I mean, man, silly season right now. It's crazy.
man.
It is.
It's so full on.
It's like today. What
Take
was the
your pick.
rumors today you were talking about before?
So Zarco's been approached by LCR, and he's come out and said, "Look, World Supers isn't an option. He wants to stay in the paddock."
Well, yeah.
And he makes
what do you think of that? Fair enough?
Fair enough.
he makes a valid
I'd rather
point.
be on a Honda than a. I'd rather be on a Honda MotoGP bike than a Ducati or World Super
That's
bike.
such a
Clip that, Curtis. You fucking legend.
Swear.
Sorry.
I agree with that, Tom.
Nah, that's terrible, boys.
Thank you.
I agree with that.
You'd rather be getting bucked off a bike or sitting last
Alex Rins on a
Compared
Coda. Changed
compared
my
to
tune.
winning races at most with the power plant.
Man,
It's just-
if that bike can win a race this year, it can win another race.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the facts. It won a race.
It did win a race, which was
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something about
100%.
that track. But what your point is yeah, I'd still rather want to be in that MotoGP field.
Everyone does. There's no doubt about it. But I like winning, so I'd rather take a winning bike than a losing bike.
But like,
Elite mentality is probably the difference.
we're seeing you play cricket. It's fucking
Yeah,
shocking.
you learn a lot from the riders on MotoGP as well.
Well,
so you
it's-
can take your skills to then to Superbike.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, so Zarco's been approached by LCR.
That's a great fit.
Little known fact, he has raced for LCR Honda.
Mm.
We were there for that race.
Yeah, he was. Yep. And then he went to
has.
Tech Trois after that, didn't he?
No, it was in between KDM and Pramac
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I was too. Yeah.
when he left
He left. What did he
halfway
do?
through the season. That was fucking nuts. He got another ride
Mm.
Why did he
Lucky.
leave?
because
He had
KDM was
falling
shit
out.
out. Hated it.
He did too. That
Yeah.
seems like a long
I
time
know,
ago,
man. I know.
Would that have been like 2015, 2016, or am I dreaming that?
16,
Yeah, probably.
16, I reckon.
There or thereabouts.
Yeah, okay.
16, 17.
But yeah, I think, like you said, that would be a good fit for him. Going
Yeah.
back to LCR. And then,
So Bezecchi takes his
obviously,
place.
yeah, then Bezecchi takes his place. So I was actually wrong last week when I said they had VR46 had signed for a 2024 Ducati. So apologies on that.
okay.
So yeah, so Zarco leaves Bezecchi to Pramac,
and then gets
And
obviously the factory bike.
gets the factory bike, and then that'll bring Frankie into Mooney VR46, which Ducati have confirmed their interest for him.
I'm not happy about that.
Wouldn't they rather a young gun from
I
Moto 2?
know.
But who are they going to take?
Tony
So-
Arbolino,
He's not part of the academy.
isn't he? No,
No.
not.
Red Bull
Red Bull
sponsorship.
sponsorship.
That's such a. I don't like that.
Is it who's
I hate
who's
when
Vietti,
sponsors get
Vietti.
involved.
yeah?
Nah, he's nowhere.
Xavi Vietti.
He's nowhere.
He threw the championship down the road last year. He was
he's nowhere
30,
now.
40 points in front, and he threw it away. Just couldn't stay on the bike.
So Morbidelli, that's the only other option though, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
So he's just going to get signed. We'll figure that one out already.
Well, hang on. There's got to be other options there.
Unless it goes to another different team, like when Bastianini and Marini came into MotoGP.
They split up the team.
Split up, sort of how LCR and Idemitsu Honda is. So there's one Mooney bike and then one Avinta Racing Ducati, for example. And then you bring in like an Arbolino.
But Rossi's not going to do that. He's just going to
Of course not.
No.
Because now he's only got one bike in Moto 2 now.
He's gifted. Like, I'm not saying gifted as in he's good talent, but Morbidelli, he's just going to fall into that seat. Because he's a VR rider.
Like how Nakagami is with the Idemitsu.
Yes, yeah.
It's the same. It's so annoying though.
Yeah, but there's no other option. They need a Japanese rider. They need an Italian who's in the academy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He'll probably come out and win races now. Morbidelli and Ducati.
But at the end of the day, he finished second in the championship. So
he's a race winner, and he's proven to be quick over a lap as well.
It's
so
not the worst decision. We talk shit on it, but it's not the worst decision. Really, it's not. It's a good place they're actually in.
So yeah, that's that.
Have they got any young kids coming through in the academy?
Through the academy, not really. I don't think.
Well, let's have a look at the results. So, Ortola, is he Italian?
No, I think he's Spanish.
Well, definitely not Romano Fenati. You know what? There's not really anyone in Moto 3.
No, Riccardo Rossi, but he's not part of the academy. I don't believe. They got that VR46 Master Camp bike in Moto 2 with Manuel or Manu Gonzalez.
The next one is Celestino Vietti, really.
Yeah, which I don't see for another at least 2 years into GP.
You know what, though? The bit of talent coming through is pretty heavily Spanish dominated.
It is, yeah. It's sort of swung back that way.
Yeah. For sure. And you know what? There's a few other like more South Americans now, you know.
Yeah.
David Alonso from the weekends. Diego Moreira, Brazilian.
Yep. Granado as well.
Yeah, that's right. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
on Moto 3, props to David Alonso. First win and first Colombian winner.
Yeah, it's cool.
From P28 on the grid.
From last on the grid. Well, technically.
Yeah.
Second last, but last.
What a race, man, that was. That was unreal to watch.
Unreal.
19 for the lead. What other race has that?
Coming into corners 6-7 abreast.
Yeah.
That track, as we touched on earlier, it breeds that old style of racing for MotoGP where there's 2 or 3 passes on the apex. So, yeah, really enjoyed it. What's the results? Who finished first, second, and third?
So, David Alonso, Ayumi Sasaki second, and Danny Holgado third. Yeah.
Onshu was running there, and then he freaking messed it up at the end, ran wide.
And Lando Norris was in, I think, was it Ivan Atola? Was it his pit box for like the whole race?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're mates, are they? Or
it must be.
Because Oscar Piastri was there as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Like Quad Lock was saying.
Well, it's a 5-minute drive from their factory. Silverstone's cool. 5 minutes away from... Like 8 out of the 10 teams' factories within a short drive of Silverstone.
Yes, because Miller was at Red Bull HQ.
Yeah, that's true. I did see that. That was cool.
I think there was a few aero upgrades for some of the GP bikes as well throughout the weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think Honda tried to run a similar sort of setup to KTM.
Yeah.
Ducati introduced some winglets on their forks like Aprilia. Then a couple of people changed up their like.
They need to strip that back, seriously. Even like have you seen the rear camera on the Yamaha? You can't fucking see anything because the camera's facing forward. All the wings are just like this.
Oh god.
No shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, of course.
Half the people lost their wings this
they
round
did.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Strip it back. Like it didn't help with Bezzecchi's crash. Nah. I think it played a big part in it.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that it was a stupid move, and like you said, Tommy, he should have learnt from the lap before. Yeah,
I definitely think he ran wide and the lap before, and then as you know, we were saying, obviously he got stuck in that slipstream, but. Yeah, I don't know. Just you should learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, 100%.
Bit of an experience there.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks for the championship for him as well. another crash of possession.
It's amazing in MotoGP because you crash and you're gone. You crash in F1, you can change a wing, you still might get a few points. You're gone.
Right,
The whole weekend's done.
I know.
So it's
big risk of injury as well.
Massive.
So it affects, another 3 races or something.
It's just different.
Boys, what's going on with Ania Bastianini?
Yeah, speaking of injury.
Yeah.
Well, lack of now, I suppose.
So he says.
Yeah.
Because he said...
But why would he come out and say that he's not... Well, he is fully fit when he's not? That wouldn't make sense either.
No, it wouldn't make sense, but,
I'd still fucking say I'm injured. I'd still say I've got niggling injuries. So then, if you have a shit weekend, then you're not getting criticised for it like we are right now.
Yeah, because he was really nowhere. Granted, maybe it was just the wet weather.
Maybe the mixed conditions didn't help with the setup.
Well, yeah, I mean, he hasn't raced. I mean, he's only been back a few weeks so now, isn't he?
Yeah, and it would still have wet weather. Where'd he...
Is he spooked?
Where'd he finish?
No.
He finished like 11th or 12th, didn't he? Or
maybe DNF'd in the main race.
Did he? Did he
Yeah,
crash?
because
thanks to old mate punting him.
Hit up the arse. Mark Marquez hit him up the arse.
He did hit him up the arse.
Yeah.
Typical fucking Marquez, seriously.
It's standard. It is standard.
So he did, and then he had to retire from that because he didn't crash from that.
He got back up, then he retired.
But
he stayed up, I think.
But I think he was running, 14th, 15th?
Or back
No, he was up
or
in
12th.
towards the top 10 at one stage. And It looked like he was getting a bit of a move on. But then probably just faded back. And then obviously in the clutches of old mate Marquez. Just shocking.
But yeah, I wonder what that's like with the Ducati factory, if these results... Like, if he doesn't perform in the next round in Spielberg, a Ducati track, then... I think there'll be mounting pressure, even though he's got another year on his contract.
I was talking about it with a mate today, and I can't see a world where Bastianini doesn't win a race this year. But if that's the case, maybe swap him with Martin.
Martin's proven himself at the moment. It's been unlucky.
Could be on the cards.
We're pretty tough though. Like Bastianini's been injured for so long, but
But like you said, he's fully fit.
Yeah.
So he's got to start pulling something out of the bag.
Yeah, and I think Austria, that's the one. It has to be the one.
I think if it's not mixed conditions, it probably, like I said, probably didn't help him.
Probably not. Just to be fair.
If you bring it back, if he brings it back in Austria, then
if he podiums in Austria,
different ball
game. We know we're on. But
man, going back to the race as well, how amazing was Espargaro's pass on Bagnaia at the end? Like, I think that was unappreciated on the coverage, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
He must have taken everything out to go on that, because it was on, I don't know what that corner's called, but it's after the old front straight.
Yeah.
And then passing up the inside with Maggots and Beckett.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was great.
Awesome move. And that Ducati is just a rocket, just off the line, out of corners.
Just hooks up.
So yeah, he just was trying all race. So we haven't touched on that, but I just thought it was worth a mention.
No, he like I said, they definitely made the most of their opportunity.
Yeah.
Cashed in on the weekend at hand. As we touched on, it was.
Did you expect a move from Bags though?
No, I didn't actually.
Okay.
Because he's not the greatest typically in those conditions. So for him to finish where he did was actually not bad for him.
Still rode like a champion.
That was the thing.
He didn't put a foot wrong the whole race.
Man, he was on rails.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't think Espargaro was going to make the move. I just thought he was just that little bit too fast.
Because at one stage he sort of, during that sort of rainy period, he did pull away a little bit more.
Yeah, he did.
But you could see the last sector he was really holding back.
Well, he's the first one to the conditions as well.
So to do that, do what he did in that circumstances, like, that's pretty amazing.
Because Espargaro, all he has to do is just follow his line. If he's braking early, he's just got to brake a little bit later. That's
exactly.
It. Like, it's so much easier following him MotoGP.
For sure.
I think he played it safe. I think it was smart.
Yeah.
Pecco of old would have tried to make a move and binned it.
Yeah.
So I think he's learnt. And, take the points from a miserable Saturday.
Yeah.
P14 in the sprint. Take the points. Your closest rival's out.
Yeah.
And, you're probably not really aware of who exactly is behind you, but he wouldn't have seen a front wheel of a white Pramac. Yeah. So he's like, okay, well, Martin, I guess, isn't around here. Max points, in a sense. Because Martin was sort of nowhere. He ran wide at the start.
Yeah, I think he got moved out or something like that.
Yeah. But did well to claw it back, I think. Top 8 or something, top 10.
He's looking good, Jorge.
So apart from the commentary, it was an amazing weekend of MotoGP.
Well, with the it was an amazing weekend. Now, Daniel and I got a bit of an axe to grind with Jake Dixon's frustration in Moto 2, which leads into the commentary.
Yeah.
So he got, in quotation marks, taken out by Darren Binder.
Binder.
Yeah. But that... And he walked back into the pits. It was his home Grand Prix. Obviously, you can understand you're so frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, it was good coverage. He, like, threw his gloves into the chair. You could just hear him screaming. But that was his fault. Darren Binder couldn't have done anything. He was on the racing line on the inside. There's nothing else you can do. He just tucked into him and then just front end folded.
Dumb. Early laps, you can't overtake on the outside of that corner. Concede the place, mate. You weren't in the place anyway.
It's a lot. And didn't he qualify? I think maybe because he qualified like 15.
Because he stacked it in qualies. He had a big stack.
Yeah.
You'll get there, mate. Like,
it's a long race.
It's a long race. You know, Sam Lowe's didn't qualify well, and he finished really well. Just take your time.
Yeah.
So it was just dumb. Like, I've got the transcript here. So Neil Hodgson, first of all, I don't think it was right by Neil Hodgson to go there straight after. As an ex-racer, you should know that tensions run high. Don't bombard someone straight away.
They want that though.
I know.
They want that raw.
But even as like
clickbait,
even as a mate of his, and I think maybe his ex-manager or training, or coach or something or other.
Maybe that's why he felt like he could do that.
So. You know, Dixon starts by going, honestly, sometimes I don't understand what this guy's doing. He can clearly see that I'm past him, which first
past him.
And he goes, use your brain, I'm faster than you. I'm going to pull us forwards. Don't ram me.
Don't ram me.
You're going to listen to this. You've ruined my championship.
Like, you're going to listen to this and you've ruined my
That
championship.
was the stupidest call ever. Relax, champ. You've won one race.
Yeah.
You're not fucking Mark Marquez.
I'm absolutely
That is such a terrible call.
So much hard work in.
You
I
ruin
made a
everyone's
mistake
championships,
yesterday,
mate. You're an absolute
it's
idiot.
just an absolute
I'm absolutely
clown.
raging.
I'm
We
sick
put
to
so
death
much
of it,
hard
mate.
work in.
Just-
I made a mistake
when you're
yesterday, but
around people like
he's
him,
just an
it's-
absolute
it's-
clown. I'm
not
sick
just-
to death
I
of
did
it.
one long lap.
When you're
Ban
around
him.
people like him,
Ban him.
ban him,
It's
ban him.
stupid. He does it to everyone.
It's
How many
stupid.
times has
He
done it?
does
It's
it
not
to
just
everyone.
exaggerating,
How many
he does
times
it
has
all
he
the
done
time.
it? I'm not just exaggerating. He does it all the time.
Stupid.
Moto 3, now Moto 2. It's stupid.
Wow.
strong
Look,
words.
granted, Darren Binder is a clown.
Yeah.
But to me, Jake Dixon's an even bigger clown.
Yeah.
Jake Dixon may as well go around next week in a Ronald McDonald outfit after that rant. Because
He's very arrogant, Jake Dixon, I reckon.
for a bloke that's won one race,
Yeah.
he's got a lot to say.
I think he thinks he's so much better than he actually is.
He's terrible.
Maybe he's trying to gaslight other teams and just say that he's better than what he actually is.
I mean, the guy's 20, what is he, 28, 27, 28 years old? Like,
Yeah,
he's
is
been
he
around
that old?
He's been around a long
Yeah,
time.
he's-
No shit.
Yeah, like, mate, if you're not in GP and you're 28 years
No,
old,
you're gone.
yeah.
Send him to Supersport.
Don't be talking in the media like that. Prove yourself first.
He's going to Supersport.
Oh, Jesus. Is he?
May as well now.
Oh, yeah. Christ almighty. Put him out in the paddock. Fucking hell.
But I think
Put it out most.
that's disrespectful, I think, first and foremost.
Yeah.
It wasn't Darren Binder's fault.
It wasn't Darren Binder's fault.
Even though it normally is.
Yeah. It wasn't his fault. And I think with a blow up like that in the public eye straight after, that's not a good look if you're trying to get yourself into MotoGP as well.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to tolerate that shit. Really,
Yeah,
which
that's
team's
it.
going to take him on and go, well, imagine, someone imagine Nakagami dive bombs him like he does everyone else. What's he going to cut? Come out and start slurring on Taka like...
Ranting about the championship being in 17th place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Scores 1 point. You ruined my championship. What a goose.
I guess it is, to be devil's advocate, it is the heat of the moment, and that's where they got him,
Oh, 100%.
I'd like to see his words on it now. If he backs it up still, then
Yeah, but
he'd
you know
really
what?
be
Those
like,
words sometimes is what he actually is thinking, and then they interview an hour later and they go, "Oh no, it's all good." Like, they've got their management in their ears telling them what to say.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good
100%.
point.
So he'll come out and say, "Oh, I didn't really mean it," but he fucking did.
He did mean it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%
that's
meant it.
for sure.
Jay, it's a sure thing.
Yeah, it's a sure thing.
So, boys, I have to go back to what we're talking about with the commentary. There was actually a little known fact for the weekend that Sylvain Guntoli, who's normally their main commentator,
Okay.
he actually wasn't there for the weekend.
Yeah,
he was
right.
at the bloody. He was at the Suzuka 8 Hour. So Alex Lowe's isn't normally the commentator.
Okay.
So it may be a little bit different at Spielberg, but we'll wait and see. So just a little bit of a defense there for the...
Well, he'll have good insight because he was Suzuki's test rider.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he might have that little bit of like Simon Crafar type knowledge about him,
Yeah.
which would be good for the povos that don't want to buy the MotoGP pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, I'm not defending that. I want Simon Crafar.
Well, at least we got him in the post-race interviews in Parc Ferme.
Yeah, you still get him in Parc Ferme.
Okay.
And you can still watch his tech talks on YouTube. So if you want to do that on a
on,
Wednesday afternoon.
on the video pass,
Yeah.
they went through live when all the riders were on that little bus waving to everyone. I think TNT did it on a delayed feed, but then they don't have anything to fill in afterwards. So they just have a dude with a camera walking around the MotoGP walk and just
funny.
watching them like sign autographs for people and having like little conversations.
There
There was no commentary.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Look, it's still better than the old Fox Sports coverage.
Tell us about that.
Damo Cutto. And look, I personally think that the coverage we used to get is nowhere near as good as when we had Nick Harris, the GOAT.
Commentary.
You're never going to
Yeah.
beat that. To defend Fox Sports, though, when they had Chris Vermeulen
Yeah, Chris is awesome.
and Stubbsy, was it Stubbsy?
Stubbsy's
Yeah,
good.
They were really
They were
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
really good.
Yep.
Um,
It was just the last couple of years when
Well,
Chris wasn't there.
I actually didn't mind Damien Cudlin. It was an old mate that was a bit of a barge. What's his
Kevin
name?
McGee.
Yeah, Kevin McGee.
Nah,
Remember-
Kev's all right.
Nah,
Actually,
Kev's-
you know what? I like him. Bring him back.
I'm with you. I like him.
Yeah, bring it back. Take it out. It was good.
Remember when Kevin? I don't know if you remember this or noticed, but he started bleeding on live TV. He like
did.
picks one of his something.
Yeah.
It started bleeding. Oh
Poor
god.
bastard. Nah,
He's,
Kev's
I guess a
good
bit
bloke.
forgetful on the TV as well, Kevin McGee.
Well, you know, it's not easy, I suppose. It's not easy.
Man, it wouldn't be.
Nah.
But they were really good. Shout out to Chris. Get him back.
Yeah, Chris. I love Chris. Chris, good bloke.
Homegrown hero.
Yeah. Boys, anything else MotoGP wise you wanted to touch on before we move on?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Was Pecco on the green?
Oh.
Yes, he was. I think he was.
Jesus.
Did the sensor didn't?
Apparently, according to the stewards, it didn't go off.
Do you
Such
believe...
such a Dorner thing to
Man,
happen.
ridiculous. Do you believe, though, the photo or the sensor? Because the photo is on the green.
I personally think you should go by the photo.
Yeah.
Because you can see it. Like Binder was probably closer to the Ripple strip than Bagnaia was.
Yeah.
It's a tough. Like in Binder's case, it was a tough one.
I reckon Binder was way tougher.
In Assen or wherever it was.
Yeah.
He got rolled. I think Bagnaia was. I honestly thought they were going to demote him to third. But Ducati came out, and apparently there's something where even if you touch the green, if the rider behind you is not close enough to overtake you, it's not a penalty anyway.
Okay.
Which is stupid. You should still be penalised.
He was pretty close though.
He was close.
Yeah, I
know,
didn't
but
think he wasn't I thought he was still...
But it happened to
Yeah,
Acosta
okay.
on the long lap.
Yeah.
He touched the green. They didn't say anything.
That's right.
Martin also went through the chicane in Assen on the green, touched the green, but Marini was like 4 seconds behind him, so nothing happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
Is it a... I reckon it's a Euro... It's a boys' club.
Are you saying it's a conspiracy?
I
Are we putting our tinfoil hats on right now?
Yeah, I think they're looking after the Euros. 100%. If that had been Binder again, he would have been demoted to last. Seriously.
Nah, you're being harsh there, Daniel, I reckon. I think that the thing is with Binder running wide. Yeah, I don't know actually.
I think it
It's
should
tough.
have been a penalty.
Well, there's the Costa, as you said, there was a Costa and the Jorge Martin.
Well, the difference between second and third is 2 points. 20 points, 18 points, is that correct? Or is
20 and...
it 25, 20 and 18?
16.
Okay, well, 4 points we'll call it. Imagine if that makes a difference at the end of the year.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean.
We'll go back to this incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be probably hundreds of incidents we go back to if
exactly
it comes
right.
down to that. But
But what do you think, James? Do you think it was a penalty?
I think it's a penalty.
Yeah.
if you touch the green. That's how I interpret the rule.
But the thing is, though, the sensor didn't go off.
Yeah,
They
but
can't- they
technology
But
fails.
you're exactly right.
But
How many times have we seen ride height devices fail out of a corner? It's the same thing. Technology fails.
yeah, but no, I'm saying the sensor didn't go off that he did run wide. That's what they came out and said. So
Yeah, but
they have to go. They have to go off the sensor rather than going off the vision because that's the rule. With Binder, the sensor went off, so they have to give him the penalty.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
I get that, but
If the sensor went off and then they still didn't give him the penalty, that's bullshit. But the sensor didn't go off.
yeah,
so.
look,
But who's controlling? I'm going full conspiracy now. Who's controlling the sensor?
probably
yeah.
Loris Capirossi.
Yeah, who sees that? Yeah.
He's on the take under the table.
yeah,
Caddy.
100%.
Okay, well,
The Italian dollar.
just say they want the Euros to win. But let's just go full Republica conspiracy podcast. If just say a Spanish or Italian rider won, how much more revenue would they get if a South African rider won a title? Think of like merchandise, views. It'd be so much more.
Nah, less.
Nah, less. It's not as big.
Take the hat off, mate.
What do you mean?
Like the sport, I don't think the sport's as big as what it is compared to Europe.
That's what I'm saying. If an Italian won,
yes. Yeah, that's okay.
they'll get more money.
Oh, sorry, we thought you
yeah,
meant
you thought
if
it
a
was
South
the other way
African won.
around.
yeah,
You
if
want-
a South African won,
I think
they
they said
wouldn't.
if Binder win.
Yeah, if
Binder
Binder won, then they wouldn't get the money.
Correct,
The
yeah,
that's
revenue,
right.
like it's
Have
Italians
to
and
replay
Spanish.
that and make sure we were wrong or you were wrong on that one. So,
Oh,
like we
whatever.
got recording.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's definitely got a big play in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there's a conspiracy in MotoGP. And how long has it been going for?
Years.
Goodness.
When they freaking robbed Rossi of his 10th.
That goes against our conspiracy now.
No, it doesn't, because they were looking after the Spanish.
Oh, true.
Dorna headquarters.
Dogs.
True.
Well, speaking about Valentino Rossi, shall we throw it back?
Let's throw it back, boys.
Yeah, good call.
A great segue.
James's throwback this week.
Alrighty, boys. On this day, is what the video is, 2003 Phillip Island Grand Prix. Now, with this Grand Prix, it was terrible weather. So it was my first ever MotoGP experience. I went down in the back with my dad
Yep.
on the 996. And then my
Oosh.
uncle went down. And I can't believe we even rode down because it was like pissing down rain the whole weekend. We even were in the pits, got interviewed by Fox Sports. My uncle was rambling on to one of the things about how bad the weather was. And it was so bad, I think we just watched, qualifying.
Just how small the crowd was.
Yeah, I know,
There's
crazy.
no
Look,
crowd.
and look how waterlogged all the sides are. So we just watched it from like we went back to the house in Phillip Island and just watched it because it was too much. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. But what an amazing, probably one of the most iconic races in the modern era for MotoGP and probably for Valentino Rossi.
I have to admit, I was there with my family. We were there that year, and my probably earliest memory of MotoGP race was this.
Yeah.
And I always go back to this race about this 10-second penalty, the famous 10-second penalty. So, which you'll explain.
Man, so when I first walked into that track, I'll never forget the
Yeah.
smell of two-stroke.
Yeah.
And the sound of the bikes and how loud they were.
You sort of actually fall in love instantly.
Yeah, you do. And I remember, this is 2003,
Oh.
everyone was talking about Casey Stoner. He was the next big thing. He
Oh,
was
right.
the next big thing.
Yep.
Um,
So he was in. Oh, so
he
this
was
is
in
the,
125s.
right, and that's the yellow flag that Bayless.
Yeah, so basically the main thing that happened of this race was Bayless crashed. Rossi passed under a yellow flag.
Yep.
And then he had a 10-second penalty. So then he was out in front and then had to win by 10 seconds or more, which is, how hard is that to do?
Yeah.
And then wins by 15. So then he won by 5, technically. And he started on pole, got swamped to about 10th in the first lap. So he came back from 10th to then win by 15.
Wow.
The GOAT.
Yeah, amazing. With that, which I found interesting, a couple interesting things, it was a pretty stacked field. Like
Oh man, absolutely it was.
Rossi, Caparossi, that Ducati, the 2003 Ducati is the best, my favourite MotoGP bike.
Yeah, it looked good.
All
Yeah, it's
time.
a good looking bike. That.
All time. I don't think there's a better looking bike since.
Just so classic, isn't it? The classic colours, Marlboro sponsorship.
Just looks like they all. For me, they are like my favourite MotoGP bikes. They look like proper prototypes.
Yeah.
Like we always touch on,
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's what racing bikes should look like.
yeah, they look like, you know, they do. No winglets, no aero.
Pointed front, pointed rear
Yeah.
tail.
Yeah. The good thing about the new bikes are if you strip the winglets off, it's not going to be that much different.
No, they're still good looking bikes.
Yeah.
It's just the winglets,
Yeah.
mainly. I reckon the Honda without winglets would look mint.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got guns in there. Carlos Checa, Kenny Roberts Jr., Nicky Hayden, first year.
Yeah, he was up there as well. He was, he
Yeah,
was
I
second.
think he finished third.
Yeah.
Caparossi got second.
Slide of biscuits.
Marco Melandri just won a 250cc title. That was his first year on that Yamaha. Max Biaggi was there. Richie Kirinari, Alex Barros, Bayless. Oh, stacked field. Gary McCoy, John Hopkins,
Hopper.
which is nuts. So in that same weekend, Danny Pedrosa just wrapped up the 125cc title the week before.
Yep.
Comes out free practice Saturday morning, crashes, hits the tyre wall, breaks both his ankles.
Oh.
Do not remember that at all. And then just misses the rest of the year.
Wow.
But luckily
Luckies.
he just wrapped up the title.
Wish you had that same luck in MotoGP.
I know, Jesus.
Imagine.
All
Maybe used it all up then. And in that race,
Yeah, good point.
in that race, there was 16 retirements in the 125s.
What, 16?
Unheard
It must have
of.
been wet. Must have been pissing down.
Jeez,
It
that's
must have
nuts.
been in for
Are
the
they on
morning.
slick? Are they on slicks here?
Look at the power slide.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's nuts.
They are on slicks, aren't they? Because it was wet at the start of the race. So.
16 retirements, and just have a listen to some of these names in the 125 class.
Yeah.
So you had Pedrosa, who didn't obviously race, Casey Stoner, Andrea Dovizioso, Marco Simoncelli, Mickey Callio, Pablo Nieto, Lucio Cecchinello,
No way.
Tom Luthi, Julian Simon, Gabor Talmashi, Jorge Lorenzo, Alex DeAngelis, Hector Barbara, Alvaro Bautista. That's just in the 125 class.
And we thought Moto 2 was a stacked field.
Man,
That is a massive field.
Few world champions there.
how amazing. And a couple team owners, Nieto and Cecchinello.
Yeah.
Man,
That's
unreal.
crazy.
uh,
And the other thing is
Incredible.
like, yeah, that it is incredible. And they've all most of those riders did something.
yeah.
Like they didn't
What a-
one hit wonders. And the other thing to take out of that is how amazing Danny Pedrosa is.
Yeah.
To win that year.
Danny Pedrosa in those lower classes was unstoppable.
Yeah.
He really was.
Yeah,
He was a joy to watch.
Helps when you weigh 10 kilos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
he did a weight advantage.
Yeah. No,
He-
but like you said, to do that against
Yeah.
all those names, like, man.
Yeah, there is some killers.
How did Casey Stoner go in the race?
Retired, crashed. It was one of the 16 or 18 retirements. So it's
How,
yeah.
how many was in the field?
uh,
I remember the field.
17 plus 6, 17 plus 19. Or
I remember the
whatever it was.
fields back in the day were
16.
They were
massive.
massive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was
they
like
were.
40
225 and
riders.
250.
Yeah,
It was
Awesome.
cheaper. It was cheaper to get back in here. So
Yeah.
I'm even looking at it here. So for the wild cards for Aussies and the 250s,
yeah,
there was 4.
yeah.
There was 4 wild cards, but 5 actually. But 4 of them didn't qualify because they weren't fast enough. Must have been in practices.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
got
you
ya.
got 110% of the time or something.
Yeah, exactly. But Anthony West got second that year in the 250cc race. Tony Lees was in it, 11th. Chaz Davies was in it. Hector Falbel, you remember him.
Yeah, yep.
Sebastian Porto, like there is Sylvain Guntoli, retired. You just forget, man.
Yeah.
You just forget where these riders, they've
Well,
been
starting
around.
next week, we've got a new segment coming.
We do.
Where are they now?
Yep.
Daniel's going to hit us off next week.
Damn.
One other thing to touch on as well, I was actually looking at lap times. So the pole lap time was 1:30 around Phillip Islands.
Yep.
Now, Moto 2 is only 1:32. So they're only 2 seconds off what MotoGP are now.
Surely some. Wait. 132 back then.
132 now. Moto2.
Oh right.
So
okay.
they've caught up.
Interesting.
And what's really interesting is the Moto2. It was 2019. Tom Luthi did that, and in 250s, it's those Moto2 boys are only a tenth quicker than 250s back in 2008. If that makes sense. So Moto2 in 2019 did a 132.6.
Yeah.
The 250cc two strokes.
Yeah.
Back in 2008, their last year, did a 132.7.
Okay.
So
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in over 10 years, they're only a tenth faster, which I think is quite incredible. And then the 500cc fastest lap is a 132.7. So they're slower than Moto2 bikes.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was different.
Yeah, interesting. That's really interesting, actually. The other thing is, obviously those 500s were bullies down the straight, and they were just harder to get through the corners.
Yeah, I was going to say different power delivery.
Yeah, exactly right. Just looking at this now, World Superbikes fastest laps are 130 flat. Now,
Yeah.
same time as a 2003 MotoGP bike.
Yeah.
This is just crazy. It's 20 years on.
Yeah.
World Superbikes are now only the same speed as a prototype 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
That's crazy.
Yeah, half the engine size as well.
Yep. Again, down to power delivery as well.
Yeah.
Hooking up that rear tyre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Braking
crazy.
heavier bike, braking harder
Yeah.
into like say Miller Corner and Lukey and all that
That's
kind
it.
of stuff.
But yeah, that's my throwback 2003.
Nice, mate. That's awesome.
snap.
First MotoGP.
Did
What
you
a
meet
race.
any riders?
Nah, the year after we met through my dad's work, Colin Edwards.
That's awesome.
And he was so nice. I mean, I was like a little kid. I know I was so nervous to meet him, but he was like so nice.
They reckon he's like one of the nicest blokes ever.
Yeah, he was very cool. Signed like t-shirt and stuff, which is sick.
I reckon in 05, then we went down to get all of us down and stayed.
It must have been one of those
I think
years.
your mum, your dad, my mum, we stayed at the house.
That's right. We did too.
And we had a funny incident on the veranda. We had the Suzuki team staying next door to us.
Oh, true.
And we sent James out to go talk to him.
I don't remember this at all.
We sent James out to go talk to him, and they're like, "Oh yeah." I think you said, "How did whoever was racing for them go?" And they go, "Yeah, good." And then he came back inside.
Like a dog, the 12-year-old.
It was just a funny memory that I remember. But there's so many memories down in that place. God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's two months and 2 weeks away.
Nice. Keen as.
I can already feel the beer.
We
running
might
through
be
my
on.
veins.
Might be some good footage and
Yes.
Yeah.
stuff coming from that.
Big
Yeah.
things
Maybe,
coming.
maybe we keep that in the back pocket for the viewers.
Watch
until
this
it's confirmed.
space.
Yeah.
Watch this space. Yeah.
Maybe some unprecedented access.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might be on TNT TV.
Maybe. We'll help them.
Oh, that's funny. Tom, any news 4-wheel related?
Look, quite quiet over the last week on F1s. Probably the biggest story at the moment is what AlphaTauri is doing next year. The rumor in the paddock is they're actually going to run the 2023 Red Bull car next year. So
I have heard that.
yeah, so
That's big.
massive. But there's rules and regulations behind it, like what happened with the pink Mercedes.
Yes.
You can't do it. So we'll see what happens. There's only so many parts and things you can copy.
Yep.
So they're going to have to still create their own car, but it's nothing like MotoGP where you
Yeah.
can swap chassis and engines and have like factory bikes on factories. You have to make your own car if you want to compete. So that's probably the biggest story coming out of the paddock. But yeah, I suppose it's a 4-week summer break now for F1. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. Crazy.
but yeah, some
quiet.
it stays pretty quiet. Then we'll start having some trade talks, that sort of thing. What's happening next year? Because the big thing we were talking before the pod, Ricciardo, where's he going? Is he going to go to the Red Bull? Is he going to stay at AlphaTauri? My suspicion was that Ricciardo is there to see how good Yuki Tsunoda is, as we touched on last week.
Yep.
So, yeah. So we'll see what happens.
It'd be a big second half of the championship, I think, for all that. Not for the actual championship, but for just driver seats.
market.
Yeah, there's also a rumor which has just only come hot off the press is Carlos Sainz has signed a pre-contract agreement with Audi
Yeah,
because they're coming to F1s in 2025.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. So they'll be their poster boy.
That's a good get.
Are they going under the Sauber badge as well?
They haven't yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
That's
interesting that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. But also, Toto Wolff had a massive... he's got an injury. So
What's going on with him?
I don't know. He's a bit of a mishap.
We punched on with Michael Massey or something like that.
I finally found him.
So yeah, he's I don't know, hurt his arm. I think broke his arm or something. So not much news.
Straight from the bottom of the barrel.
Yes. What about
Superbikes?
Superbikes, Dan? You got anything for us?
Nah, just
Been on the edge of my seat.
Nah, nothing on Supers. Just Lecuona has basically come out and said he'll let Honda decide his future, whether it's going to be with Superbikes or MotoGP.
Yep.
But I think with the market, and I think he'll stay in Supers. I don't think he'll be back in the paddock. He didn't do much, I don't think, over the weekend either.
Yep.
Nah.
Struggled.
God, how can you? Marquez can't. God, good luck to Lecuona.
Yeah, exactly.
I rate I don't think he's as bad as we think though. I think he's a good
No,
rider.
I like him. I
Yeah.
think he's a good rider. Just get him on a decent bike.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
yeah, no other news on Supers. Oh, actually, no, there is. Philip Ottle's come out and sort of slammed Go 11 for bringing Iannone on. So Iannone signed
Yep.
to come back to Superbikes, and
What's how many years out?
4.5, I
yeah.
think. And Ottle is like, how can you take a guy that's, been out of any form of racing for so long?
That's a long time.
And he makes a great point.
100%.
It leaves him out of a seat, and he's not a terrible rider.
Capable.
So, yeah, very capable. He's put in some decent performances and stuff. So, he sort of took it as a massive slap in the face.
I wonder if they've done it to bring more attention to the team, more attention to the racing.
I think so.
Just to get Iannone on the seat.
It's another big name.
Big name, and it's interesting to watch to see how he does as well.
Well, that will make the viewers that are on the fence about watching it. It's another reason to watch it.
Might make you change your mind, Tom.
Well, you saw me watching it the other day. It was interesting. Nah, it is good racing. I'm just taking the piss.
Yeah, it's funny,
It is.
man. It's so funny.
And it's probably in its best spot in the last few years as well.
Again, a pretty stacked field.
I think
when you think of it.
I think Johnny Ray actually has done a lot for the sport, but
He
also
has.
killed the sport with winning those championships after and after again because.
Yes, definitely. I think the other thing is too, there wasn't really much around him when he won.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away. He's a fantastic racer,
Yeah.
fantastic rider. But now with some bigger names, like
MotoGP boys.
some MotoGP guys coming back, it's just really sort of hyped it up a bit more.
Yeah.
Albeit Ducati's dominating, but I think there'll be a shake-up. There was a bit of a rumor that Yamaha approached Johnny Ray to replace Toprak as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be huge if that's if
Wow,
that's
pulling
true
him
and he
away
goes,
from the
Jeez,
from
that's
the Kawasaki.
massive.
Yeah, God.
And if he can go and win with them,
That would be good.
that'll be huge.
That'd be great for the sport as well.
So, but it should be good next year. Still a few rounds to go this year. Championship's not decided, so all the championships seem to be shaping up. Probably bar MotoGP and F1 seem to be shaping up pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, motor
Halfway
racing is
through.
in a great position worldwide.
100% it is. 100%.
Did you boys see that stat on the weekend? And it was NASCAR got more viewers than F1.
Yeah.
It was like 2.3 million.
That's probably thanks to us.
Well, I think we may have jumped the gun on that a little bit from our previous pod. Where, look, I mean, at the end of the day, if you looked at that stat 10 years ago, it'd be 10 million from NASCAR and 100,000 F1. So, I mean, the gap's definitely.
Was that viewers in America? Just in the
viewers in
States?
America. Yeah,
it was, wasn't it?
not worldwide or anything. I mean, no, it was just America.
Yeah, it's
There'd be more than 1 million viewers of the F1 worldwide. 100%.
Yeah, I would love to
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that. It really doesn't actually tell you much, really, that stat, because I would like to see, as you said, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
15 years ago, what F1 would have looked like up against
Well, it's
NASCAR.
the same like V8 supercars in this country 10 years ago. I mean, we touched on this last week, but how different it is and how F1 is just taking a lot of supporters away. The crowd
creating new supporters. Really.
True, yeah, 100%. But interesting to see the crowds at Silverstone they looked like they had a lot of empty grandstands. But looking at the stats, they actually had 10,000 more people at the race this year than they did last year. So
you can't expect F1 numbers for MotoGP. It will never happen.
No.
Maybe in Spanish rounds.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, but even then.
I just remember the Rossi days. I just don't ever remember an empty grandstands.
Maybe in Italy, but
I reckon Silverstone as well. It's only 3 weeks after the F1 race. It's a lot of action.
You can jam pack so many people in the Silverstone. Like, it's such a big circuit, so it can look empty really easily. But F1's F1. Like, you're just never going to match that.
Yeah.
No chance.
They're just doing it so well. Got this clip up here. I just thought this was sick. Speaking of V8 supercars, probably
we're on the mend with V8 supercars.
We're pissed off. Well, a lot of people have agreed with us actually. Let's be honest.
We're trying to call back any chances of corporate tickets.
But this has to be Gizzy winning some race.
Yeah, and that's Adelaide 500 when he won the championship.
It has to. Oh, I always thought Adelaide 500 was the first round, so I don't know what's going on with V8 anymore. But it probably has to be one of the best celebrations I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is wicked.
So
what does he do? Does he get a brick or something? How does he?
Yeah, how does he? So if people are listening, he basically is doing a burnout.
Yeah.
Then puts it up against the wall, puts something on his throttle to just keep it doing a burnout naturally. Then runs, grabs the trophy, and then jumps back in his car.
Yeah. Surprised he had this much fuel left after the race as well. Don't you have to provide a sample to the? Well, maybe that might be F1, FIA.
How good is that?
That's so sick.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
He's left his shoe on there.
But bro, this is.
Oh,
he has two, but
that wouldn't be enough weight.
nah.
He's blocked something.
He's probably done it.
There must be something in there, surely.
But he's blocked the throttle.
How good's the Red Bull
He's
helmet
blocked the
as well?
throttle to keep
Yeah,
it.
that car looks dope.
Oh look, the fans are running on the track.
Surely not, really.
Yeah.
So we do shit on V8 supercars because it's
No,
going downhill.
and look, in all seriousness,
This is probably one of the coolest celebrations
cool.
I've ever
Yeah.
seen. And we're big Gizzy fans.
and we also hope that the supercars get back to their prime days. And we personally don't know what that is.
I actually don't know how they I think, as you said, going from free to wear.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people said that on our.
They did. We got a lot of response off that clip. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And the new Gen 3 cars, whatever, no one's really taken a liking to them.
Yeah,
So
but the other thing is, I was waiting for them to get rid of these Holden because they had a Holden Commodore on the grid for 3 or 4 years after it was axed.
yeah, and it was
From
like
Australia.
the
Shit.
With the damage.
yeah.
So, who knows what the future holds for them? I mean, they've still got people are still going to watch it, but they need to maintain a supporter base to afford to go around and get fans to the race. They're always going to have Bathurst. People are always going to flock. That's always going to be sold out, whatever cars are going around. But it's just the other 18 rounds of the year. What they're going to do?
The biggest thing that I read was free to wear, the Gen 3 cars, and just there's too much going on after racing. There's races on Saturdays, there's Sundays.
Yeah.
I think they just need to dumb it down. I think they need to be simpler.
I don't see a problem with the Gen 3 cars. I think that's a good thing.
I think what people coming from is they're more unrelatable now. Because remember, the Commodore was a family car.
Yeah.
So you could have a V8 supercar that's basically take your kids to school in. And you can't have that anymore with a Camaro or a Mustang. That's the big thing. Which, look, maybe that's where time's obviously going, but that's not helping that series.
No, not at all.
That's the differences.
So, how's Jet Lawrence going? Was there a race between pods? Okay,
Nah.
so still
16-0.
16-0.
That's wicked, man.
So cool.
Yeah.
Surely he's going to complete it. Surely he'll go perfect season.
Yeah, fuck, who knows? Motocross is so hard. You can injure yourself so easily.
Oh, yeah. One slight tiny mistake, like all motorsport, but...
Motocross, I reckon, is one of the most physically demanding sports on Earth. Yeah,
It is, yeah.
They make it look so easy, but
Yeah.
if you go onto a motocross track and you even try and ride 2 laps, okay, and then even make it sandy, that's rutted out,
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
If you've never done it before, or you're even a rider that maybe rides in the bush, but then you try and go on that and then ride a motocross bike and then go around there, you've got no hope.
Yeah.
It is so difficult. The way those guys prepare for racing, how fit they are, it's so underestimated.
Unbelievable.
And it's so underestimated how fit those guys are. They put so much work in. Ride time.
Spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, just reps in the gym,
Yeah.
running, cardio. Their cardio is out of control.
Would be.
So much cycling they do. It's a big thing with motorsport.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cycling as well. Their strength that those guys have, the core strength. It's
Especially to wrestle a 450 around.
man.
Yeah, they have to be some of the fittest blokes that, again, nobody really talks about or
No,
knows about.
it's so
Yeah.
underrated. It's not recognized whatsoever.
And the
there's-
impact on the body as well. Arms, legs, like...
Man,
Yeah.
arms, yeah. People
Arm
don't
pump.
realize, arm pump. They're
Yeah.
squeezing that tank with their legs, a lot
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
And then trying to race past people, pick lines. Like there's so much mentally going on.
Yeah.
And that sport is
And they're all cowboys. Like, they're all just crazy motherfuckers. It's so
man,
good.
they're nuts. They're so
Yeah.
loose, all those guys.
Yeah, it's the best.
But that's why that's why I've always loved it and watched. Your Carmichaels or Stewart.
Put it on bloody Australian TV.
Yeah, I know.
God.
Been
But-
crying for it.
Yeah, it's
And advertise it.
advertising.
And people will watch it. Young kids will watch it.
Yeah. There's definitely a market for it. It's just, I think it has to be the AMA series though, because it's like a weird example, but it's like soccer in the A League. People want to watch the best of the best, and in the Australian Motocross Series, they televise it
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But people realistically want to watch.
It's a
Yeah.
bit like Superbikes and MotoGP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People want to...
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just
poor
joking.
Dan.
Not
He's
happy
already-
with that, Dom.
I'll get a text 11:30.
Yeah. But it's true. People want to watch the best of the best.
Of course.
And Aussies are getting starved of that because they're not seeing any of it. They're not seeing the MXGP boys and they're not seeing AMA with our own two guys winning. So,
In the Australian series, though, are they good young up-and-comers, or are they all guys that have been there, done that?
bit of both. And look, not to shit on the Aussie guys, they're super fast.
Of course.
They're still no joke, but just to get the average punter in or whatever it is, you need to have the
Gotta have
main
a big
series,
name,
Got
Got to have the big draw card.
You got to have the big draw card, And whenever someone gets super fast anyway, they're either now already in Europe or in the States as a kid. That's just
Yeah.
how it is these days. But like Chad Reed was in the Aussie Nationals, but then he just went booted straight off to
Went straight
America.
across.
So
Yeah, it's where it's at.
But yeah, people, there's a lack of appreciation on how fast motocross riders are and how fit they are. Because it's easily one of the most physically demanding sports in the world.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Get on a YZ or CRF 450 and try and tame one of them around a sandy or just a regular motocross track.
Well, we've got to get you on the CR 500 once it's redone, mate.
Let's go. I'm too scared for that. I've rode a KX 500 once and scared the pants off me. No thanks.
Unreal.
No tips this week, is there, boys?
Nah.
Now,
Next week, Austrian Grand Prix.
So we got anything on this weekend? I don't think so. NASCAR, probably.
NASCAR V8s.
The Pensal 200. V8s. Wow. You know what we should do?
Well, let's give them a plug. What do they got?
No, because they raced last weekend.
Oh, they can't race 2 weekends in a row. What's going on?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, IndyCar. Nice, Dan.
Nah, no weekend. So the following weekend's at the Bend. The Bend.
So do we have anything on? What
You
were you
know,
going to say? What were we going to say?
I was gonna say let's do this. Let's all of us. Let's sit down and on a Sunday and let's watch the V8s race, and we'll come to an opinion on the Monday.
But not this weekend.
Well, we can't this weekend because it's not on.
there's IndyCar,
Oh, is there?
August 12th.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, where is it?
Let's all try and watch that.
Done.
And get something out of it.
All right, cool.
I like
Alright.
finding new stuff.
Guys, next week we'll come back with some IndyCar talk.
Scotty McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Where is it? In Indianapolis? That you
No.
said?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
the,
that's the
it's,
track.
It's
Yeah.
the road track. It's the road track. So it's the old F where how the race used to race the F1.
Oh, that's cool. That'll be
Yeah.
good. That'll be mint.
Do they go? I think they go the wrong way round then. I'm pretty sure. The oval.
I wouldn't.
Because the F1s used to go the other way
Yeah,
around.
let's go
Yeah.
Clockwise.
clockwise.
Yeah.
That was sick how they
So
did
turns 1, 2, from straight. Okay, cool. All right, we'll go see how that. That'll be cool, actually. Nice. All right, beautiful.
that. Beautiful.
Anything
Done.
else, Dan? No tidbits for us,
No, I got nothing interesting this week, unfortunately.
Jimmy.
Nah, I said my cool thing about Danny Pedrosa breaking both his ankles.
Any crystal balls? Any maybe even silly season rumor crystal
No,
balls?
you know my head's getting fucking this big, so huge at the
I'm gonna
moment with the
have to
crystal
make the door
balls.
bigger.
I know. No, I
fit
still
into the
see.
studio now.
I still see Marquez going to Grassini. And I wanted just to touch on something that very quickly involves Marquez.
Yep.
Alex Marquez winning that race on Saturday, sprint race.
Yeah.
Does it mean anything? Is he a race winner?
What do you think about sprint races?
I don't like them. They don't mean anything. What does he get? Is he a race winner? Is he a race winner? Has he won a MotoGP race?
Okay, let's quickly dissect
Nobody
this.
knows. Nobody can answer me.
That's right. Is that a MotoGP race winner?
No.
Winning a sprint race?
No. Not to me. It's not.
To me, it's not as either.
No, you're not. That's not for me. It's not a race win.
But does it count though?
Yeah. Like, you know how Ross...
All right,
has
hang on.
100
You know what I'll
wins?
do? I'll go Alex Marquez in Google.
How many MotoGP races has he won?
None.
Donuts. Come on, Tom.
Bloody Aussie broadband.
I like this. I got.
He has had a win. it
Nah,
says.
that's crap. I love the sprint racing though. I think it's been great for the sport.
I like the sprint racing as
I
well.
think it's
and
awesome.
I poo-pooed it at the start, but I think it's good.
But-
I think it's fun. It's fun on a Saturday night.
not at
Yeah,
midnight.
it
Not
is.
at midnight.
Yeah, that's bloody the Palms mob.
Yeah, I know.
It's different, but
No, but normally he's not at midnight, isn't it?
You
No,
get like 11 o'clock.
yeah.
I think we've had this conversation
Yeah,
before.
well-
But
Okay, so look, he by season he has not had a win as such, and it's not. But it does say one win against his name. He's not won
I
a
don't
race,
think-
does he? No,
I don't think anyone knows.
no. He's okay. So MotoGP World Championship, he's had 60 starts with one win. That's what it says.
oh, well, there you
Okay.
go. So it's a win then.
No, but that's Wikipedia. I mean, who knows? But then you go down to MotoGP results.
Okay, what
Never
about
had a
if you
win.
go onto his profile in MotoGP.com? I'll tell you. I'll quickly figure this out. What's his name? Alex Marquez.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he?
Shaping up to be the better one this year.
He
of
is.
the brothers.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah.
Victories. Current season, 0.
Okay.
There you go.
MotoGP.com.
Does it have a separate category for sprint wins?
No. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
So what does it mean, Daniel? What does it mean? They don't
It's
get.
for the championship. It's for the spectators.
I know, but don't know.
I'm surprised. I really thought you would have got around it.
Look, I like watching it, but it just frustrates me when someone wins. It's like an AFL player debuting and then starting as a sub. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it
fair
actually
enough.
a debut? Is it actually a win? Like, does he celebrate a win? Does he like?
I
Yeah.
think though they don't. You can see they don't really go nuts on their celebrations anyway. They accept their medal,
Yeah.
take a bow, piss off to the pits.
It's
and
just more,
focus up for tomorrow.
let's grab the points and
Yeah.
focus on Sunday. That's all right.
Yeah.
So it's not a win, but it's more entertainment for the fans.
So it's a win for the fans.
It's a win for the fans. I think that's how we should end this one. It's a win for the fans.
That's it.
And on that note, we'll see you next week.
See you boys.
See you guys.